Hello my loves, welcome to the November Unconditional Love reading, November 2016, Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine. It's a pleasure to see you, or to be here with you, rather. And I just wanted to, let's just move that over slightly, there we go, that's better. I wanted to share with you this quote that I'm always misquoting. It's a Rumi quote about love, and it was just a real theme for me this week actually, about thinking about destruction and how the path of love is really one of destruction in this way. So Rumi says, your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. And more I feel like this is such a truth. I always say that love is in the spaces in between. And so it's always here. It really is just allowing ourselves to be still enough to notice. Another thing this month, I've kind of brought back my bits and pieces. I'm not usually too ritualistic or attached to things, but the rose has found me again recently. This piece of rose quartz, which always comes with me, has been all over the place actually, kind of crossed continents, and this red rose, which wanted to be here too, it seems. I won't go into the story. And the candle is back. I hope it's bright enough. Yes, I think it should be. So, let's get going. I may just move this over here, keep it there for us. And let's see what is going on for the masculine and the feminine energies for November 2016. I've also got a bit of a special treat at the end. Some extra things I would like to add. Right, so I'm going to start with the masculine on this side, the feminine on this side. Welcome if you're new. I want to also say thank you to everybody that's been following me for a while now. Do subscribe if you haven't. Make sure you get the videos as they come, and do check out the mid-month I did for my 1,000,000 views if you haven't already, and I will put the link in here for you. Anyway, to carry on this side we'll put the masculine, on this side we'll put the feminine, and then the middle cards, and we'll see how it goes. So the first card for the masculine is the Sun. Second card, I think that's going to need to be a bit higher up. Second card for the masculine, the Eight of Wands. Third card for the masculine, the Eight of Cups. Fourth card for the masculine is the Two of Pentacles. The first card for the feminine is the Six of Cups. Let's move that over a bit. Second card for the feminine is the Lovers. Third card for the feminine is the King of Cups. Fourth card for the feminine is the Queen of Swords, crowning the energy the feminine brings, the energy the masculine brings. The root energy we shall turn over a bit later. Bottom of the deck is the Two of Wands. This is all about stepping out into the future together. It's a two, it's a togetherness, and it's about focusing upon expansion together. and I should put that there. So, let's have a look at this. At first glance, it does look very positive. So, and interesting. So I might move my rose a bit. There we go. So, the feminine starts off with the sun. This is a card of joy and freedom and liberation and flow. It symbolizes setting herself free. So I really do feel as if the feminine is allowing herself to be free. I think she's understanding more that love is freedom. And it's freedom not just for her, but for everybody else. When we allow ourselves to be free and we allow ourselves to be this kind of innocent child on this card, it's that the energy of the toddler that's naked, running around and shameless. It's shamelessness. It is that freedom of being free of shame. It's feeling that we are enough. And not just that we are enough, but we are bursting with love and light and joy. And when we are bursting with that joy, we just want to share it. It is also the sun, quite literally. So this is a masculine energy. Oh, sorry, I just realised that this is the masculine side, not the feminine. So we can read it. I mean, it's the same for the masculine and the feminine. But interestingly, I was going to say that what I was going to go into is that when we feel this freedom, then we set other people free to feel this freedom, and it's kind of a mirror thing. So the masculine is in this freedom. And I do feel as though it's this feminine understanding that has set him free. It's this general understanding of wanting, when we love unconditionally, we really just want everybody to be in their innocent, beautiful, free space. And it just feels as though the masculine is breaking forth into this joyous, joyful, bright masculineness. If that makes sense, because the sun does represent that masculine energy as well. I was watching something today that interested me as well, which was about stars and star systems on a kind of more, spiritual level rather than a scientific, as we know it so far. And really about studying light and this idea that the sun really is, it's just a source, not just a source of energy, but a source of knowledge in a way. If we're always trying to embody the light, if there's something about light and how it creates life and how it is part of expansion, then the sun is a very powerful, very, very powerful source of not just light and heat and warmth, but also life. And it's almost as though that life force goes flowing through us with that sun energy. And I really want to encourage everybody to be there. So the masculine's in this sun energy, and I actually want to go next onto the second card for the masculine, which is the 8 of Wands. And this is that attraction card. It's movement, it's travel, it's force. And it's love, it's Cupid's arrow. It's Cupid's arrow, it's love, it's attraction, it's directness, it's focus. And I do feel like it very much is upon the feminine. It was interesting because I was thinking before I started this about how it's been feeling as though this divine feminine recently has really been rising, and there's been a lot of power in her. And I was thinking about the impact that has on the masculine and inviting him in. And I do feel like that is happening, that there is this now rising in the masculine, because the feminine has been rising for a while, and the true feminine, the divine feminine, the feminine, the power, you know, the natural feminine that arises actually when we balance our masculine and our feminine. It's like the essence, the true feminine essence rises. And it feels like that true feminine essence has been rising because she's powerful. She's powerful. The feminine can be seen as the negative in terms of it's receptive. The positive is the masculine, the negative is the feminine, not in a kind of, you know, disparaging way or judgment kind of way, but just that it's a more receptive energy. That doesn't mean that she doesn't take action, because essentially, as I said, it's about balancing the masculine and the feminine, but it's really that she recently has found her power, the power in that true feminine state. And I was thinking about how the masculine has got to rise now. And I feel like even very recently, this is what's happening. As I had my October mid-month reading, I did open some slots up at a reduced rate, so I could try and see as many people as I could on a one-to-one basis before I kind of move on to do more online things and writing. And I saw a lot of people, as many people as I could, and it was very interesting to feel into that. And yes, feel into that, a lot of that feminine energy. And kind of even over the past week, I feel like this feminine energy has really risen, and now it looks like the masculine is rising, and he's realizing, you know, that he's free in this connection. But it is because the feminine has found her power, which is that she does not need the masculine, and so he can be free with her. And that is the thing about true love. It's not about being trapped. It's not about obligation. It's about we are free, and in our freedom we choose. So he's just feels like so appreciative, this masculine, so appreciative of that understanding, because he's been there for a while, and it was taking a while for the feminine to really latch on to that idea, I think, intellectually. So the first card we have for the feminine over here is the Six of Cups. So this is the return. Every time this Six of Cups comes up for me recently, I hear the return. So this is about the lover returning, the masculine returning, the masculine rising, that phoenix from the flames I'm hearing. That the return, he returns, the true masculine returns for the feminine. And there's this strong, strong attraction, sexual attraction, physical attraction, not to be discouraged, not to be misunderstood, not to be disregarded. Because, you know, it's really an important marker. The more conscious we become, that drive is there for a reason, to take us to the people that we need to be with. And so there's that attraction here from the masculine, picked up beautifully over here by the feminine with the lovers. We can take that as it comes, quite literally. And just beautiful connection here. November is going to be a really, really big month for what we call union. for those that are open to receiving. It was interesting because a couple of people brought up to me the real yearly reading, which I hadn't watched for a while, and I watched it and it was super interesting because this kind of general collective awakening feeling that I knew it's happening now, and it's big. It's big. It's everyone. It's the sleepers awakening. It's happening now, literally now this month, and I can feel it. And it's really creating an open space because the collective general thoughts about reality and what's true and what's not true are dissolving. And so there's more room for creation from my perspective, the way that I feel into it. So there is a space being created now. The barriers within ourselves that we have built against love, even as a collective, they're breaking down now. And so then the lovers literally can emerge in the space that's left when we let go of what we think is real. And so it all, it just feels massive. It feels massive, this connection, this love connection. And I think there's a reason why I was drawn to bring back the rose quartz and bring back the rose and the Rumi quote. And I really felt like I wanted to adorn this reading. And I probably would have kind of wanted to adorn it further, but I think it might just take away a little bit from the cards. But this is the month of love. In the yearly reading, I do believe it's the Judgment card or the Death card, something similar. I think it might be Judgment. And it really is this kind of collective shift. And I do believe that it really is on the behalf of the lovers, us that wish to love unconditionally, the world, the peacemakers, the ones that are able to embrace everything and allow everything and not fight against. Love is the path of least resistance. This is our time. It's happening now. The door is open. Just step through. It may be that the barriers come up for some of you. It may not feel like this is happening. The door is open, but then, oh, whoops, now I have to step through. So I do find that there are quite a few people who feel like they are committed and ready for love, but when it shows up, there is that fear, those barriers, the insecurities or the fears, they come up. So it is an open space whereby they can arise. But I always say it's a process. It's not just we love ourselves and we love someone and then it's just easy peasy and there's no resistance. Resistance is part of growth. It's like when we're on the cutting edge of growth, when we're growing, when we're becoming more, that space, we hit more barriers sometimes. Don't be afraid if barriers come up. That means that you're growing. So don't worry about that. That can happen easily when these strong, big cards come up too. It does feel like the masculine, she's being quite masculine. The sun, it's all go, go, go. And the feminine, maybe, yes, she is being more receptive. But this return card is about returning to the beginning, the innocence, the first meeting again. And this message that I have at the moment really is that love always has new eyes. Be present. Forget everything you think you know about your love. When you see them for the first time, every time, ask, who are you? We can never really know anyone, even ourselves, simply because we change so often. We are always becoming new. Physically even we're becoming new. We're rebuilding our bodies even, I think it's every 7 years. And our thoughts, our vibrations changing, everything's changing so much that we can never really know. So always be present and new with yourself and with your love. The masculine third card he has on his side is the 8 of Cups. He wants to journey into this connection. He wants to explore. But he wants to explore the self in this connection. He wants to maintain his sense of self. And he can. I like this 8 of Cups card because it really symbolizes going on a journey for the journey's sake. You may feel inspired to find something that's missing, and that may be the impetus that makes you journey, but there is no cup missing here. There is the illusion that there is a cup missing. But I like this card because it's, as I said, it's the journey for the journey's sake. And the message in this card is, we journey, we seek for the pleasure of seeking, not to find something. There's nothing to find, we've already got it here. That's kind of, again, in that Rumi quote, that your task is not to seek for love, but merely seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. In the process of seeking, we find the barriers, but so the process is love. We find that it's as I said, it's in the spaces in between. But that doesn't mean we don't go on this journey, because it's not about staying still, it's always about becoming more. And see the moon here, the feminine moon next to this sun, lit by the light of the moon, of the feminine moon. He can seek more of himself with her. Beautiful. The feminine, third card, the King of Cups. This is a masculine, unconditional love energy, but it's not necessarily that masculine. It really is this, it's a very solid, it's masculine in its kind of power, solidarity, and it's action, it's giving love, it's emotional stability, really, actually, in a powerful way. This is what this card is about. So the feminine for November will reach a state of powerful emotional security in herself, where she is on that plinth and she is safe, she is solid, even when the ocean is choppy. She's not afraid of her emotions anymore. She knows how to master and govern them. She's so good at it that she now becomes a master, she becomes the teacher. So she may need to be the teacher to the masculine in the mastering of his emotion. This light of the moon here, which is actually the reflected light of the sun, his own light reflected back to him through the feminine. But the feminine adds actually some masculine energy to it, and she is able to then master and teach the masculine on his journey how to master his emotion so as not to be afraid. And I feel like all that work that the feminine has done in that sea of emotion that moves, that's choppy and changes and can be tumultuous, or can just be a little bit, erratic and a bit bipolar seeming, a little bit very, very much a mirror of duality, you know, this high points and then these low points, this spectrum of emotion that unconditional love will bring out, will be triggered in you so that you can then love it all. All this work and experience that the feminine has had with that emotion, she then can now pass on to the masculine in his seeking and understanding. She lights his way. There's a important message here. She lights the way. All good teachers, they just light the way. They don't force. They don't drag anybody down the way. You just light the path. She lights the path for him. He wants to go on his own path. Don't force him. Don't try and teach, just light the way. And she does, and she will. But that's what he wants. He wants her to light the way, not deliberately, you know, guide the path. The fourth card the masculine has is the Two of Pentacles. This is the infinity symbol. This is infinite love. This is back and forth. This is understanding the flow in and out. This is what we're moving in towards. But I feel as though the feminine may have a little bit of a problem still with the masculine back and forth. She doesn't quite understand this need for independence quite yet. That doesn't mean that she's not here, but she may just have to be a little bit careful and a little bit aware of that Queen of Swords energy, the cutting energy, the cutting off energy, the Ice Queen, the Divorce Queen. She can be too logical, too thinking, too cutting. So she gets into her thoughts and she decides that this love that seems to kind of go away and then come back again and go away and come back again and go away, come back again, isn't love. That's not love. When actually it is. Because it's just the ebb and flow of life. But how do we experience that in a flowing, easy way and not this, he's going, he's coming back again, or even I'm going and I'm coming back again. I can't decide. This, yes, I go away. She perceives sometimes that the masculine goes away and then comes back again and goes away and comes back again, but she doesn't realize that she's doing the same thing. He goes away and she says, oh, I'm going to go away then. You know, not to use the kind of expletive, but she's kind of like, no to this. And she goes off. She moves away from the love. She says no to the love. And then she comes back again. Every time she says no, she comes back again. But then she observes it in the masculine and says, he's doing that and I'm the one, I'm always here, I'm always here. No, she does it too. And then she decides that it's not love. And the masculine can sometimes decide that it's not love too, because he perceives it in himself. If I loved her, then I wouldn't want to go away from her all the time, but then I'm drawn back to her. But the way that we go through that without it feeling so tumultuous, even though she has gotten pretty good at this, it's to go down what I call the middle path, which is you let yourself go and experience that, but you stay in the middle. Look at it crossed over the heart there. You keep your heart open, you remain in your heart space, and you center in that presence there. And in that presence, we then become aware that it doesn't really matter where we are on this track. It's all love. It doesn't matter. We can't get away from it. It doesn't matter what we're perceiving, where we're perceiving that it's moving away or it's coming back in again. It's all love. And then it just becomes a very loving experience. This never goes away, this in-out. It's a valid part. But it can just be, you know, popping to the shop for 20 minutes and back again. You know, what does togetherness mean? Do you want to be like, you know, literally joined? What's union? You want to be joined physically 24/7. Is that going to be practical? Or do we need to kind of flow in and out together? In both on this path together. There are two people here, you know, this is the two. You know? It's two and it's one. But it is kind of up to us to experience that oneness, even in what we feel is separation. And that's really the trick. That's the trick. So you know, you go with the flow and you notice what you're doing. Usually what we feel like the other is doing, we are doing. There's a mirror. So just be a little bit aware of that. But yes, it does feel like there is a little bit of this feminine energy kind of still looking away. Maybe being a bit judgmental, a bit decreeing, a bit, you know. She's also the divorce card. So there could be some divorce there happening on the feminine side. Some endings of relationships away from this connection. Secondary message there about that, which would match up with the way that I am perceiving the general collective shifts at the moment. As I said, making way for love. So all the barriers being dissolved. Crowning, we have the High Priestess. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So this strong divine feminine energy, look at her lit up by that beautiful candlelight. I mean, wow. I mean, let's just put her up a little bit. Drawn to the pomegranates around her. Just feels like life, growth. Sorry, I'll show you. You can see there's pomegranates all around this High Priestess. Who is the High Priestess? She's intuition. She's connectedness. She is that powerful, connected, intuitive feminine. She's looking over the whole spread. She's present in both energies, in both sides. She's powerful in her love. She believes. She knows. Not only does she believe, she knows. And she's looking over and is present in both. This mystical energy to her too. The mystical, the unseen. Love exists within the unseen and the unknown. What's love? Where's love? Where is love? What is love? Can we touch it? Can we prove it? How do we prove love? How do we prove love? Because we say, I love you. Not everybody that says, I love you, you know, loves. It's impossible to prove. It exists in the unknown. And the reason why so many people step away and are afraid and are in fear of love is because it exists in the unknown. It can only exist, really, essentially, in the spaces in between that we can't know, in the things that we can't know. There's no security in love. It's an illusion. So we try to build this security, but it's all false. But then when we step into the unknown, we become used to the unknown, used to that freedom, and then we can really feel safe in ourselves, in our intuition, in our knowing, in the knowing beyond the knowing of the mind, in the things that we can't see. It's a very, very important shift for November, for both, and for the collective. At the root, We have the Six of Swords. Comes up a lot in these readings. It's a very powerful energy. This symbolises moving from choppy waters to clearer waters. It symbolises the masculine maybe being a little bit in control of where we're going, and the feminine maybe not seeing where she's going. But it's only the feminine thoughts of those swords, again, coming up here with that Queen of Swords. It's the thoughts, it's the mental energy that stops her from seeing, that maybe traps her. But it's as though the masculine really, he is doing the driving, he is doing the travelling. He has all the travel cards, this Eight of Wands, this Eight of Cups, and this 6 here. It just feels like the masculine's driving it for me. It also symbolises that no matter where the masculine goes, he takes the feminine with him. You're always together. You're always travelling together. And it is that you are moving into safer, clearer, less tumultuous waters. Matches up nicely with that King of Cups energy. You know, that feeling of serenity. That's what's happening. That's what we're moving towards, peace. Energy the feminine brings is the Queen of Pentacles. Wonderful. This is the feminine in her sense of personal security and abundance, and knowing that she's got her. She knows that she can look after herself. And that includes asking for help. You know, this is, sometimes I'm getting, you know, running your own business or shifting your career into a different place, or whatever you do on a day-to-day level, being very successful in it. And, but that sense of independence is also about asking for help. So the feminine, she doesn't need, but she still asks. It's about collaboration. Once the feminine really embodies that together, you know, that sense of not needing, financially, materially, you know, in any way, it doesn't mean that she can't ask. It doesn't mean that she can't receive. You can receive. That can come in from anywhere. It can come from the masculine. It can come from work. It can come from any, you know, source. It doesn't matter. But also sometimes she does need to ask. I think this is really important to know, that the feminine sense of independence is not about being alone and not about not asking for help. But she is powerful in her not needing. It's actually that sense of knowing that you don't need, which can kind of enable us to ask for help. So, yes, she offers that. And the masculine offers the 5 of Pentacles, which is interesting. So, maybe it's that in terms of the Pentacles, in terms of career and the material, the masculine isn't feeling too good this month. Maybe that's this vulnerability that he needs help with from the masculine, from the feminine. So this is interesting, because I feel like this really, you know, it could manifest financially, but it's just about a sense of security more, I feel. And I feel like there's just a sense of vulnerability from the masculine that he feels able to take to the feminine, because he knows that she has her own stability. And that again is matched with that King of Cups on the feminine side. So he is unafraid to journey towards her with this maybe sense of that there isn't enough here, that I'm out in the cold, or I'm in need. He feels like he's in need. And maybe it is up to the feminine to be of service in that way. But I do feel like it's related to emotions. I feel like it's in an emotional way. I feel like it's because it's really moving towards her, but it's towards her in vulnerability. And it's kind of as though this feminine energy guides him, you know, into the light. This card is about a church with two people outside, and they just are missing the light and the warmth and the wonderfulness here. And it's as though he needs a bit of guidance into the warmth, and that is that beautiful feminine receptivity, which is echoed in the physical connection, if that makes sense. Drawn again to the bottom of the deck, the Two of Pentacles. This is about moving forward together, moving on together, the world in your hands. Let's pull an outcome. Ten of Cups. What did I say? This is just union, togetherness energy, and it's a big collective energy. It's not just about, you know, people in unconditional love, twin flame, soulmate connections. It's a collective togetherness. There's a perception with some people that, you know, things are kind of falling apart collectively a bit on a world scale. If we look at it kind of politically, maybe environmentally, we look at all those things. Great. Let's find all the barriers within ourselves that we've built against. Peace, love, togetherness, oneness, joy, family, connection, rainbow, the whole spectrum. We can explore the spectrum of experience and we can feel good within it. I mean, this card speaks for itself. This is the most powerful, beautiful togetherness love reading I have ever done. I obviously knew. It was as though all the love paraphernalia was trying to make its way in. Go, go, go. Believe. Believe this. Believe this to be true. Saw a client yesterday. She's planning a wedding. The transformation was very quick. I have people that watch the weekly Vimeos only that come into union, that I've spoken to recently, that came in contact that I saw. And I was thinking about it and it was like, wow, that's so powerful. I just consider myself the vehicle and I just do what I'm kind of guided to do. But I do believe it's an energy. When we get into that energy of love, it flows. Life isn't always as it seems. I use the cards to dive in to the story that maybe can't be seen. And it works. It works. So believe. Believe in togetherness. And everything that's come out in this reading. Right, so a couple of things. I wasn't sure whether I was going to pull the Rumi card or not, because I'm doing the weekly Rumi, and I hope everybody's watching the weekly Rumis, because I think they're great. We love this Rumi deck. It's the Alana Fairchild Rumi Oracle. So I wasn't going to, but then I do feel like, yes, I do want to. This could be a bit long, could go a bit over this reading, but we'll see. Let's pick a Rumi and let's go with this. Let's pick a Rumi. I feel I want this one. Okay, we've had this one before, but I do like it. It's been a little while, so. The Rumi is number 43, Hand of Fatima. And let's give that a go. It's one of the last ones, not the very last one, but one of the last cards in the deck. And the Rumi poem is: I can never leave you, not for a moment, not for an hour. You are in everything I do. You are my everything. My drink is your sweetness. I move to your command. I am surrendered prey in your hands, and you are my consuming lion. Your soul and my soul are truly one soul. I swear to our one soul, I long for no one but you. In the garden of your grace, I am only a germinating sprout. The crown of my blooming is the desire to be in your arms. My hand watches over you. It brings you blessings and comfort, protection and grace. Radiant with divinity am I, and you are my child, my beloved, my angel, and my body too. I shall never leave you. Turn your inner eye to me and see the light of my grace in your heart. You cannot be harmed. You cannot be defiled. You can only ever be what you are, me, alive, radiant with love. You are giving birth to more spirit than you have ever held before. During such times, a divine midwife can be helpful and supportive. This is Fatima, radiant daughter of the great beloved, who reaches from the skies, who reaches up from within your body, from deep within the earth, and brings you the gift of protection, grace, and love. You are safe. You are held and you are bound within her warmth. She has received your prayers and she honours your devotion to life, to love, and to growth. She will help you. Ask for her blessing daily. You can use the simple sacred honouring ritual to do so. If you need guidance on how to pray to her, but any words from your heart spoken in authenticity will suffice, no matter how simple or ornate they may be. She responds to the feeling behind the words, and she responds instantly, beyond time and space. In fact, she has responded even now, perhaps before you even knew she was needed. This oracle brings you the guidance that what is being born in your life right now is your own consciousness as a seed, perhaps of a new way of being, a new idea, belief system, philosophy, or sense of self. Is going to come to maturity under the loving protection of the Divine Mother. You are also being asked to heed your intuition and instincts. Have some discernment about who you involve yourself with and how you choose to use your time and energy. Allow yourself to feel Fatima's guidance and comfort in you by giving yourself permission to be nurtured through your own choices and the people or situations you say yes or no to in your life. This is a way to honour her presence and allow her to help you, which she wishes to do in all ways possible. Love is all things you see, dearest angel, and that means saying no can mean saying yes to something greater. So give yourself permission to say your no and yes as dictated by your heart. This oracle also brings you the message that your body is sacred and worth your attention. You do not have to become obsessed. You do not have to push or judge your body, but you can honour him or her as a sacred animal through which your spirit creates soul and expresses itself in the world. This is a truly wonderful and amazing gift, extraordinary and yet fraught with challenge. The spirit can be powerful. Sometimes it can be hesitant too, enough to really engage with the body and come to life. There is a story that the angels sang music to lure the spirit into the body, but used to its freedom, it was reluctant to experience itself in what looked like rather confining matter. The spirit did not know that Fatima would be initiating the spirit into her mysteries through the body. She was going to be sharing the sensuality of life, the sacredness of love, the deep mystery of life, death, and rebirth, and the wonders of nature. She was going to show the divine could live not only in light, but also in flesh. Fatima holds the wildness of divine feminine wisdom and the sanctity of life. She has great gifts of ecstatic presence, only able to be experienced through the spirit living in the body. She will share this if you allow her to guide you. Once the spirit recognizes this, even just gets a whiff of Fatima's glorious fragrance, the enthusiasm for life ignites, and the wonders of the world experienced through the body become a way to revere the great beloved and turn all life into the temple of love. This oracle also comes with guidance. Giving your body rest and healing is most beneficial at this time. There are symptoms you are experiencing, anything from fuzzy-headedness to tiredness and aches and pains, as well as shifts in body temperature that seem unbalanced. These are directly related, if not solely, to the interaction of your spiritual essence with the sacred animal body. These will even out under Fatima's grace and protection, like two housemates learning to live together and enhance each other, rather than distract and annoy each other with their quirks and differences. This settling in process will happen all the more easily when you ask for Fatima's help. This oracle also advises that if you ask for help and protection in any matter, it will be granted. There is no exception to this rule. There is nothing you have done that has made you unworthy of divine intervention, grace, and love. Not one thing ever. Ask, trust, and receive. Place one hand on your heart and one on your belly. Fatima, who loves me unconditionally, bless me with your hand of protection and your radiant grace. May I love my body and live my divinity in totality. My spirit is my body is my spirit. My spirit is my body is my spirit. My spirit is my body is my spirit. So that was powerful, and the big message that I got from that really was about that allowing our spirituality and our divinity and our light to really be manifest within us, to understand that we are vessels, and really echoing this high priestess here, that divine, feminine, nurturing, giving, loving energy. And it does feel as though the feminine really is the one that's kind of got a lot of the, I'm going to say power, or resources. Resources may be a better word. But it's freeing the masculine to be more vulnerable and to seek her guidance. But it is also up to the feminine to understand the ebb and flow. And also, I feel, understand her own ebb and flow and not just perceive it in the masculine or in others or in the world around her. Understand that it's always happening within us and that it's divine and natural and it's okay. I also wanted to share a poem which I've done previously once before from a book that I love, The Drunken Universe, an anthology of Persian Sufi poetry. So I just enjoy the Sufi poetry. It resonates a lot with me. This one I was drawn to is by Garib Nawaz. I'm not sure if that's the correct pronunciation, and it's called Make Way for the King. From spacelessness, love descends to lover's heart. So sweep yourself up, for the King of the world descends to this dust heap, and the soul becomes as flesh. When the soul of soul plunges into the soul, and why not? If treasure is dug in ruins, why not love in your heart? Get out of the doorway, the King of Love approaches the house. All you nobodies out. The guardian of those who have no one approaches the house, and once the house is vacant of others, the mercy will descend. A king is lurking in my closet, but the whole world cannot contain him. Once he gets here, both worlds will implode into dust and atoms, for he descends nowhere but nowhere. What is the heart? The hawk of high holy heaven. How can it bear to nest in the here below? Moen is dust on the stoop. Where else would you expect to find him? And the explanation here, Moen is the poet's pen name, so it's that last bit is basically saying, I am dust on the stoop, or we are dust on the stoop. Where else would you expect to find us? And the explanation is, love in its essence is from eternity beyond time and space. Like a king from a holy land, it rides forth and in its journey descends a while, perhaps for only an instant, a breath, into the world of duration and extension. Not just any place can receive the royal visitor, however. Only in the heart can he reside, for the heart is the centre, the function of which is to love. If the heart is occupied with the self, it is not functioning properly, it is idle. In order to work, it must suppress all egoism. Paradoxically, when the king descends, he must reside in a ruin, a heart destroyed to itself and empty. Again, echoing that we just need to make room for love. It's already here, there's nowhere to go. All right then, I love you very much. I appreciate you so much. I'm very, very, very much enjoying your presence here in these readings with me. I want to say thank you so very much. Do like, do subscribe if you haven't, do share. If you're interested in my weekly Vimeo offerings, I will put the link below. And just thank you. And I shall see you all again in a month. Take very good care.